My tea friends, what's happening? So I noticed that the last video, the label was not shown very well. So I think I have to put it like really close for it to focus. We'll see. We'll find out. But either way, this is a what is this? I can't see. Oh, Laotian black tea. Um, it smells really tippy, sort of like a golden bud, but it doesn't look like a golden bud. But it does kind of have a bit of that smell. So I'm actually a little excited about this one. I think this one might actually be decent. But so far, the Laotian teas have not been my favorite. It's the cold brew, pretty dark. Yeah, pretty dark. I think I did good as far as the amount of tea that's in there. I don't think I went too overboard. Wow. There's no way I will have guessed that. It's very, very light. As if I didn't use enough material. Very light, but it's definitely some flavor in there. Um, there's like a sugar sweetness on the back end. And it's very, very soft. Um, it's almost like I used a different water for this infusion, but I didn't. It's the same water that I've been using for the past at least week, and somehow the tea has really, really softened it. That is so interesting. I've never experienced that before. I mean, it is super, super soft. Yeah, I don't know how to describe that, and I can't say that I've ever had that experience. Now I've had some teas that had some different sensations on my tongue, and definitely sensations like coating my mouth or something like that. But to soften water, it's that's different. And like I said, it's a very, very light taste when you look at the color of the brew. It's really weird. So right away, I mean the cold brew, it's not awesome. It's not my favorite just because it's so weak. Um, but that weakness may be exactly what embodies this particular tea. I don't remember much about the Laotian green tea, and I think this is the only um, black tea from Laos. I may be mistaken, but I can't say that. And I've had some shings from Laos as well, and yeah, I can't say that there's anything about this particular tea that I recall being similar to any of those other teas, particularly the softness and maybe the weakness of the tea. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and load this thing up because I have a feeling I'm gonna wind up having to brew this uh, grandpa style. So the cold brew was so weak, and you can see the leaves there pretty big, um, and really rolled and and curled. So it's a little different. All right, let's see what we get. Yeah, very much a sugar sweetness. I can't really put my finger on what I can describe the aroma as, other than it's sweet, but not like in your face, big aroma. It's very light, very light. Glass is still fairly warm. See if I can get any more out of this. You know, just, yeah, sugar sweet, almost like a brown sugar. Yeah, like a straight up like store-bought brown sugar. Yeah, that's the best I can come up with, just as far as um, the aroma is a store-bought brown sugar, not the natural, was it Pencelia, or whatever, that comes in that dark cone, but like processed in a plastic bag, you know, brown sugar, is the smell I get off of that. A little bit of smoke on the back end, a little bit. I'm gonna go 30 seconds, but man, I really think I may need more time on this one. I'm gonna do 30 seconds and see what happens. I'm afraid to even wash this. I'm not gonna try to get that water out of there as fast as possible. Looks like the wash was pretty dark. And that's the thing too. It's like I don't know how the liquor can be that dark and the flavor be that light. Smelling some storage. I'm gonna let this one hang out for just a second. Yeah, it's definitely storage. And I smelled that on another tea. Same exact aroma. So I know for sure that that's what it is. So it is. There's an aroma there. It's faint, but it's something there. It's sweet. Almost like a pastry maybe. But it's not like, it's not bready. Usually when I talk about a tea having something of a pastry flavor, I usually mean it's sort of bready or yeasty, you know, sort of a thing going on. That's not the case here. It just smells sweet, like you know, like if it were like straight up chocolate or straight up sugar, like you would get just straight up sugar. This one is like a pastry, a dessert or something that has sugar in it, not on it, you know? So it's sweet, but just not like super in your face sweet. And again, 30 seconds and that liquor is dark. Trying to let the heat dissipate a bit. Hoping that maybe I can get rid of some of that storage note. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of smoke. I think with this particular tea, I mean, it's so weak on aroma that I'm picking up the storage just because there's just nothing else there to smell. You know what I'm saying? Look how dark it is, though. That's crazy. Now, if this has any sort of like strong flavor, I will be very, very surprised. This is weird. Okay. So it does have a stronger flavor. Happy about that. Um, 30 seconds, I think, was about right. I want to go a minute just to see what more I can get. Um, Not bitter. Maybe a minerality or something. Um, Very flat though. You know, it's not complex at all. It's not any. It's just yeah, it's flat. It's flat. I can't say it tastes good. I can't say it tastes bad. It just tastes like black tea. It's not as bad as like if I were to get like a 99 cent, store bought, tea bag and brew it. Like it's not bad. You know what I mean? Like it's way better than that. Um, but it's not as good as any black tea that you can imagine that has like a distinct flavor and tone that fits within its own category, like Oriental Beauty or um, um, uh, um, like a this the thing, Lapsang Souchong, right? Or any of the like autumn flushes or any of the like fruity Chinese stuff. It's none of that. It's just sort of tea. Um, it is kind of almost there on the coffee replacement thing. It's not quite there, but it is getting there though. And I think maybe if I brew it really hard for a minute, I'll get it there. And so we can at least say that about this tea, that it is a decent coffee replacement. Because it's almost tastes like black coffee. But the aroma is it's not awesome. All right, just gonna go for a minute, and I have a feeling that this tea is not going to last more than a few infusions, and I don't think that I'm even going to drink through this. Like I said, it's not bad. It's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Because it doesn't taste like anything. Um, Curious to see what this 1 minute does because maybe it's a decent coffee type of thing. And like I said, it did sort of have that smell on the dry leaf when I first picked it up. I thought that's what it was going to be, like a golden bud sort of coffee type thing. So we'll see. Sometimes the smell of the liquor is different than the leaf. Hard to tell. Maybe once the heat dissipates, um, there'll be something more there. But right now, it's not much there. Really pretty color. I mean, it's just um, I can't really talk too much trash, being as how I've never produced a drinkable tea ever in my life. You know what I mean? Um, but it is like they found a way to produce the right color, a really pretty shape, a really nice color. But that's it. Like, there is nothing else going on, man. And that's crazy to me. But it is. I mean, is everything. Look how pretty this leaf is. To think that there was time and effort spent into getting this whole leaf plucked from the tree. And this is, I thought it was like a large leaf. This is actually like a medium leaf. Yeah, to get it plucked from the tree, from the bush. I mean, perfectly. I mean, there is not a flaw on this thing. And it was rolled really nice. Um, but it has zero flavor. It's or aroma. It's nothing there. All right. Let's see what a minute does. The liquor is darker, so that's good. So I do expect it to be a bit stronger. So let's see. It's not red though. It's not a red tea per se. Maybe you can kind of see a little bit of red in there. Jeebus Christmas. Okay. Only because the tea is so pretty. Only because the tea is so pretty. I want to give it a shot, but even a minute doesn't do anything. So I'm gonna let it steep and hang out for as long as my patience will allow. Let's see what happens. There's the tiniest hint of smoke, which is making it sort of interesting, just because I like smoky teas. Um, but it's just not. I mean, like I said, in order to be like a coffee it's really close to being a coffee substitute. It's just not strong enough. Um, and being that it's not strong enough, I can't really say it's a coffee substitute, and it's weak as hell. It's just, and there's nothing there. There's nothing that I can be like, oh, that's different, or that's, no. It's like it's a little bit of smoke in there, which is cool, but that's it. I'm really looking forward to growing my own tea tree, my own tea bush, um, and see what I can produce. Something that I've been thinking about for quite some time, and got a chance to see a tea tree up close and have an understanding of kind of how it works. And after seeing someone else do it firsthand, it's something that I know I can do. The question is just whether or not you can actually produce a tea. To take this leaf, which doesn't taste like much of anything, and then ferment it, to get those sugars and flavors out of it. And then once you ferment it just at the right moment, um, to then cook it so that it doesn't spoil, so that it remains in its state, and you can store it for years. That's the trick. This particular tea, I have to imagine, um, they maybe didn't ferment it long enough. Um, there's also something to be said whether or not um, it was done inside of some machine, whether or not it was just, piled up outside and let the sun get at it, whether it was dried by the sun or the machine. Like, I don't know what the process is on this one. From the taste of it though, it was all machine. It was all machine done, and maybe not fermented long enough or something. Um, or maybe it was just not great material to begin with. You know, that's also a possibility. So, but either way, like I said, it is something I'm really looking forward to. Um, and I'll be really surprised if I'm able to make anything that tastes remotely good. But I think it'll be a fun experiment, because the way I see it is I start out by just making a white tea, very simple, very straightforward, and see what that tastes like. And then from a white tea, go to a green tea, and that involves the cooking process just to get the leaves to the right temperature so that you can store it for a long time. And if I'm able to do that, even if it tastes good, bad, whatever, then I can start playing around with fermenting. Rolling it to get the juices out of the leaves, and then letting it sit and let it coat the leaves and get sticky and brown and all that stuff. And then fix it with heat. Or maybe you just let it sit and sort of kind of maybe mist it with a little bit of water or something and let it ferment that way, then roll it and fix it. There's different ways of going about doing it. I'm looking forward to trying them all. We'll see. We'll see. The other question is how much tea do you really need in order to do these experiments? It's like you don't want to kill the tree by taking off all the leaves. So the question is, will I be able to do these experiments with just like, I don't know, a branch of leaves or something? I don't know. All right, I don't know how long that was. It's got to be past a minute. And oh my goodness, the liquor is even darker. I mean, maybe this is one of those teas that is just best brewed grandpa style. And what's crazy is the leaves are actually still growing. They're still coming to life. So, there's something to be said about that too. But so far, just very one-dimensional and very weak. Yeah, nothing's changed about the aroma. I still smell storage. And honestly, I don't know if that's any darker, but it's really dark though. No, now it's dishwater. So it's after, 2 or 3 infusions, it's pretty much done. Like, I can keep going, like brewing it really hard. Um, a tea like this, though, I'll tell you, makes a decent kombucha. And I finally got around to ordering some kombucha pellicles. So a tea like this, I will be actually, actually, I may even keep this just to make kombucha out of it, because I've only ever made kombucha with spent tea leaves. I've never made kombucha with fresh tea leaves. Have I? I'm sure I have. But either way, a tea like this is definitely good to make kombucha out of, because it's so flat and so straightforward, which is kind of what you want in your kombucha. So you can then add whatever flavors you want to it at the end. Just throw some sugar in this thing, and it'll probably be really, really good. So I don't know. I may do that. I'll think about it. Like I say, there is just a tiny bit of smoke, which makes it a little interesting, but for the most part, I'm good on this one. All right, from me to you, I'll holla.